Hey guys, so today I want to go over a couple of the original Pokemon sprites, the back sprites to be specific, and just talk about the ones that I think are terrible, and the ones that bothered me the most when I was a kid playing this game. And they bothered me probably more than they should have, but some of these sprites, I don't know who they hired to do these. There's certainly some bad sprites from the front view as well, but we're talking about the back view. So when you put your Pokemon out into the game, it's the back of your Pokemon that you can see, right? And some of these sprites, I don't know what they were thinking because they clearly had the artwork to work off of, right? But so these are not necessarily the worst ones. These are just the ones that bothered me the most when I was a kid. So let's go through them and I'll show you the ones and I'll tell you why they bother me so much. Because yeah, so first up we've got Vulpix, and this one, the hair, I don't understand. First of all, the whole thing looks lazy, right? Like, look at the eye, it's just a dot. But the hair, clearly you can see that Vulpix has like the three kind of curly poofs, and then like the bangs that come down, the spiky bangs. So I don't know why they gave it like a pineapple top kind of thing. That's not what it looks like. And again, like if I didn't show you the picture of Vulpix here, and you hadn't played this before, you probably would never guess that was a Vulpix. So pretty bad. After that is Zubat. This one's not so bad as far as the outline goes, but it always bothered me that it was white in color when Zubat is clearly not a white Pokemon. It's like dark bluish and almost black. And the sprite for the front view of the Pokemon, like when you battle it, is all dark colors. And there's lots of dark colored sprites, like Gengar and stuff like that is pure black. So they could do it, right? And then what's worse than that, and I don't have it here to show you, but Golbat, when it evolves into Golbat, it also gets like a dark color. So I just never knew why they made it white like this. So, and then after that we have Grimer and Muck. And the reason why this one bothered me was because I felt like it downgraded. Like, I remember having a Grimer, which is, they're lined up with their proper sprite here, but look at how big and crazy Grimer looks in its sprite. And then when it turns into Muck, I remember when I evolved my Grimer into Muck and being like, the Grimer looks so big and gross, the Muck's gonna look even bigger and grosser, and then it just kind of fell flat. I feel like you could reverse these sprites and it would make more sense. So that was lame. After that we have Metapod, and I just don't like this one. It just makes me uncomfortable and I don't like it. And I also, you can't tell because I'm not showing you it in the screen, but like the Metapod's a small, very small Pokemon, one of the smallest Pokemon, and the Metapod sprite was massive, like it was huge. If you look at the sprites for like Rattata and other small Pokemon, they're very little. But for some reason they made Metapod it just looks like a huge thing, you know what I mean? And I don't like it. So after that we have Jinx. This one's really easy to kind of make fun of. Everyone always makes fun of Jinx. It was the artwork was famously changed on Jinx because the original, I'm showing you the new version of the artwork here. The original had sort of a racist look to it, so they changed that. But even still, like, look at the sprite on it. It's just hideous. This Pokemon always creeped me out, and I don't like it. Look at the dead look on its face. After that we have, now I got a 2-in-1 here. These are the legendary birds, Zapdos and Moltres. Articuno also didn't look great, but not as bad as these ones. The reason why these ones bothered me is because look at their hair. Like, I just feel like these are legendary Pokemon. These are meant to be like big, intimidating Pokemon. Zapdos, they just have these like little flimsy spikes coming off of his head. It just doesn't look scary at all. It looks lame. Especially in the artwork for the actual Pokemon, it's got like 10 spikes, and they just did like 6 here or whatever, and it's lame looking. And then Moltres especially, I always hated this one. I think I actually caught a Moltres and I was going to use it, and when I saw this sprite, I was like, I'm not looking at this the rest of the game, so never mind. Clearly, the artwork on the Pokemon, the hair is flames. So why did they give it this like weird like side part comb over of spiky hair? You know what I mean? Like, if that was supposed to be fire doesn't comb over. Fire sticks up, right? So I just thought that these look so stupid, especially for, like I said, legendary Pokemon, that you would think they would go out of their way to make extra intimidating and cool looking. So both lame. After that, we've got Cubone and Marowak. Now, Cubone is one of my favorite Pokemon of all time, actually. And I think that the sprite for Cubone that I'm showing you here is actually pretty good. I don't have a problem with the sprite of Cubone. But I always hated evolving it into Marowak, but you have to because you want your team to be strong, right? Because look at the sprite for Marowak. I don't understand what's going on. They didn't get the helmet right at all. And then what are those giant, like, spiky scales coming off of its back? I never understood what those were supposed to be. Why does it have these big dinosaur scales? Like, they can see the Marowak drawing, right? So why add these massive spikes on it? Not very good. After that is Ghastly, and this one is just bad because it's so lazy, I feel. Now, I understand this would be a hard one to draw, maybe, with what they had back then. But it looks like they just took this spray paint brush from, like, Microsoft Paint and just, like, clicked it once and then erased the bottom half across the bottom. And, like, I could probably make that in Photoshop with one button click of the spray paint brush. So, I don't know. I just feel like this was, like, one of the laziest, probably the laziest one. Just a bunch of dots. So, not a fan. After that, we have Ekans. And this one, again, I feel like if I didn't show you the Ekans right away, I just showed you that and said, what is this Pokemon? I don't know if people would be able to figure out what it is. Why is the neck so skinny? Like, it's got this big bulb head and this little skinny neck. I think, at least. I can barely tell what I'm looking at, but Ekans doesn't do that. If you can see by the actual Ekans art, it's pretty consistent in width, in girth, all the way across right up to the head. So why does it have this little skinny neck like that? And I guess it's supposed to be coiled up, is what they're trying to show here. But it's just hard to make out what I'm looking at, and I don't like it. And it evolves into Arbok, and Arbok had good art, a good sprite, I thought. So, and then lastly, one of my least favorite is Porygon. This is like absolute laziness. At least with Ghastly, it was lazy, but, like, you know, it was gas. It's a ball of gas, right? So just make it look like that, I guess. This one, they didn't even try. None of this looks anything like what Porygon actually looks like, in my opinion. How did they, like, look at Porygon. It's got, like, a big, long head. So why did they make it like a weird square with a little tiny beak on the front? Again, this one, actually, I didn't know what this was. I was looking at the original sprites, just a list of all the sprites, and I got to this one, and I couldn't remember what it was supposed to be. I had to look up and figure out. I was like, oh, it's actually Porygon. And this is actually my first time ever seeing this, because I never played with Porygon when I played the games when I was younger, and so I never got to see this. So I was kind of shocked at how bad this was. So anyways, that's it for now. There's definitely more that are terrible, and there's certainly some really bad sprites from the front view, which maybe I'll go over someday as well. But I've been playing Pokemon Sword and Shield for the Switch. I just got it, and I've been playing it, and that's what made me want to make this video, just looking back at some of the old Pokemon and seeing how terrible they were, and how I feel like they could have done a much better job on a lot of them. They had the resources at Nintendo, right? So anyways, that's it for now. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing these, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.